So I'd like to discuss something that is seemingly random. I appreciate there's no coherent thread to the videos that I'm producing at the moment, but this is something that has formed a conversation that I've had with multiple people, and it's related to dreams, and it's relating to dreaming of someone in particular. The reason that I'd like to discuss this is that when you have a particularly lucid dream about another person, it brings up the question of some kind of psychic connection, some kind of insight, or some breadcrumb to follow related to that person. And when a lot of people have dreams like this, and myself included, I've had some, or regularly have, vivid dreams about certain people, and it varies. And sometimes I have dreams about the same person multiple nights in a row. When this happens, it can bring up the question of, should you contact them? Is this an act of synchronicity where dreaming about that person is an indication you should get in contact? I would like to share my way of processing this. And firstly, it pays to understand the dynamic of the dream world and the dynamic of this type of synchronicity. Although dreams are symbols, and it is possible to have a dream that acts as a premonition, our own psychology is always going to be mixed up in the dream itself. I do firmly believe that we can have dreams that are part of an interconnected web, and it could be that you dream of someone and there's information in that dream that in the collective unconscious, or what I've called before the quantum bonds that you have between people that you know, something is detected and picked up. But we can never be 100% sure, and we always have to assume that part of our own psychology is involved in this. We are part of the creative force that creates the imagery of the dream in our dream world. Therefore, there is a part of us encoded in the dream. So the first step for me is to always question, what does this symbolize in my own psychology, in my own emotional landscape? What could this person's appearance mean within myself? And I don't even mean necessarily this person as the being that they are, but the symbol that they become internally, right? Like, it's a really interesting thought when you think that we each exist in many, many different forms in the minds of others. We're present to a certain amount of people throughout the day, but when we're not present, we exist in the mind, and we've got no real control over that, the way that we exist. And that includes the dreams that we have. These images of people are developed and filtered through the kind of holographic nature of memory, and possibly a psychic connection as well. But we can never know what that information is, and we can never know exactly what it is that the dream means in terms of its wider implication. I really like how Carl Jung discussed this, because he did note that although you can have dreams that are premonitions, and it does happen, especially if you keep a log of your dreams and you can see how this unfolds, it's not always the case. And it pays to not take a gung-ho attitude to this. It pays to be patient and really to start to discern your intuition around when it might be relevant to reach out. Of course, if you dream of someone regularly, it might just be a sign that you miss that person and that it's worth reaching out to them. Just like when you think of someone, you contact them and they say they were thinking of you too, there does seem to be some kind of antenna psychically, maybe connected to the heart or to the mind, or something that we don't fully comprehend, where two people do resonate in a certain way, and this can be reflected in the dream world. But if you have a dream about a particular person, sit with it for a few days and journal and process what that dream means when you interpret it within yourself, and maybe then it is worth reaching out. In my experience, don't tell someone that you dreamed of them, or that you feel that they are contacting you in kind of the psychic domain. That doesn't generally go well. But just use it as an excuse to get into contact with someone. or even to allow yourself to develop a deeper understanding of the nature of the relationship. I've been dreaming recently 3 or 4 times about an old friend from Bristol in the UK, and each of these dreams, in each of them, my friend is always a protective symbol, and there's something that's just really earnest in this dreamscape. Like, I'm usually in a situation where I'm threatened in some way, and then my friend comes along and offers me support, and I've been sitting with this dream because it's got my attention, the fact that I've dreamed about the same person multiple times. And it's actually just caused me to reflect on the nature of the relationship and what this friend in particular symbolizes. And really, it's opened my heart to a deeper level of gratitude for their role in my life. And it's actually helped me realize that they've protected me in more ways than I was switched on to before. And as a result of that, I just decided to message them, to be in contact and see if they'd like to, meet up and talk, and really just following it in that sense. They're obviously not aware that I've cultivated a deeper appreciation of our relationship thanks to these dreams that I've been having. But it's just a great excuse to get in contact. And, my experience with this kind of realm of synchronicity as well is that there's always an unfolding element. And it's quite hard to tell where you're at in the unfolding a lot of the time. And more information can come to light. Be it a confirmation, be it further synchronicity, or further revelation in your own psychology that contextualizes the dream. We have two different extremes in terms of approaches, and one is to see everything in the dream as your own psychology and just kind of a mishmash of memory and experience, or to go more into the Jungian approach to dreams and to understand them as really a powerful environment for picking up on non-ordinary forms of communication. We can lean too much into that and assume that every time someone appears in our dreams, they're somehow getting in contact with us or messaging us, or there's something that has some action that has to be taken related to that person. So really finding the balance between the two, working on discerning the symbol of the dream and being patient to see how it unfolds and how it contextualizes over time, is a really powerful way of enhancing and illuminating the nature of your relationships, and also pointing to potentially unresolved issues or qualities that go missed in waking day-to-day reality.